How we doing? How we doing? This is Destination Denver, Colorado, and today we are talking about potentially the perfect place to live in Colorado. We're looking at Louisville, Lafayette, and Superior, and we're starting right now. All right, this is Destination Denver, Colorado. I'm your host, Jimmy Evertson. Listen, if you're interested in learning all the ins and outs, pros and cons, moving to or around the Denver metro area, or the Front Range for that matter, then this is the channel for you. So that subscribe button and notification icon you see on your screen, make sure you click on that as I'm dropping new videos for you each and every week. And as much as I try to be a little creative here on camera, I'm also a licensed mortgage broker covering the entire state of Colorado and team with some of the Front Range's most talented realtors. And we're helping people move here each and every day. So the number and email you see, know that I am always the person, answer your phone calls, answer your texts, answer your emails. They're winning if you need me. Now that we're done with that fun-filled stuff, let's get to what we're here for, and that is talking about the perfect place in Colorado to live: Louisville, Lafayette, and Superior. All right, so I know the term perfect gets thrown around way too loosely, but when I'm talking to people about moving to the Denver metro or to Colorado, two towns that are, or cities that are consistently mentioned in this discussion are Denver and Boulder. And maybe people aren't interested in living in the heart of either, but they want access to both. They want to enjoy the amenities that both have to offer. And so what we're talking about is three communities really nestled right between the two that give you quick access to either while having a unique blend of their own communities and styles. So we're gonna start with the smallest of the three, and that's Superior, Colorado, located, as the other two are, northwest of Denver, southeast of Boulder. You're going to take I-25 for the most part, I-25 north over to Route 36, which is what takes you into Boulder. And along the way, you're going to come along Superior. Now, Superior was originally founded in 1896, incorporated in 1904. It was a coal mining town. The reason it got the name Superior was because of the superior coal that was mined from the community. Now, a little fun fact that I didn't realize even until now as I went out to fly my drone around in Superior. So Broomfield, located south of Superior, has an airfield, and one of the runways of the airfield runs basically right in the direction of Superior. Now, don't panic. It's not a loud community. When I say planes taking off, you might think so, but it's a lot of small aircraft, a lot of Cessnas, a lot of little private planes. Why am I even bringing this up? Because my footage of Superior is going to be pretty limited because there were only a few handful of areas I could even take a drone off because of all this aircraft in the air. Last thing I need to do with my drone is affect somebody flying a bigger plane. It's a little more dangerous for them. But what you're going to see with Superior is it's a lot of neighborhoods. It's a lot of close-knit communities. It has a population of just over 13,000, so not huge by any means. And Superior is highly rated in a lot of factors. Niche.com had it number 5 out of 71 suburbs in Colorado to raise a family in. It has Superior number 7 out of 71 suburbs, period, in the state of Colorado. And then some other things that I found interesting. It had number 10 out of 277 places, period, to live in Colorado. And then as far as schools, it's highly rated. Now, schools, and this is going to be similar in all three of these areas. It's part of the reason they are as popular for people as they are, is that Superior is covered by the Boulder Valley School District. Obviously you have Boulder County, which Superior is a part of. The Boulder Valley is typically one of the highest rated educational districts in the state of Colorado year in and year out. So for people who are making a move, and I always say, even if education doesn't apply directly to you, maybe you don't have school-age children, it doesn't matter to you as far as what schools are there, it can still impact you, especially if you are thinking about buying a home and wanting to sell it in the future. So unfortunately, Superior is probably most well known, at least now, for the Marshall Fire. This was a fire that occurred just short of New Year's Eve back in 2021 going into 2022. There was an electrical wire that fell, started this fire. It was unfortunately also during a period of Colorado when we hadn't seen any moisture. We hadn't actually seen snow, and it was late December. So again, dozens, over 100 homes burnt down. And Superior was a big part of that. A lot of homes in Superior were burnt down. So you see a lot of new construction there. It was already new construction, but a lot of new construction, a lot of recovery from that. It's great to see the progress that Superior has made since that fire. That was a massive disaster for this region. One of the more tragic things I think we've ever experienced. The most tragic thing I can remember in this community growing up in the Front Range of Colorado. So it's great to see Superior rebound from that. So during this recovery with Superior, you're seeing growth in the town. And if you've watched any of my videos, you'll know when it comes to small towns and communities, I really love a downtown region. I just think it adds an element to it. I live in Lakewood, Colorado. Every time I talk about Lakewood, I mention the fact that Lakewood doesn't really have a downtown region. And if there's one knock I would have on Superior, it's that. Superior does not have a downtown. Now they are building a region just off of Route 36, again, as you're heading up to Boulder. Now to me, it's not done yet. So this isn't a fact, this is an opinion. When you look at it, when you look at the layout, it's gonna resemble a lot like Belmar, a community here in Lakewood. A walking mall, a lot of townhomes, different places to live, a lot of different shops. I'm sure it'll have some restaurants, things of that nature, but it's not a downtown. Again, I could be wrong and that could be exactly what it ends up being, but it appears more of a walking mall. It will still be a central element to the community of Superior. I think that's a benefit to any community, and I'm sure that Superior residents will enjoy that. Now, you're gonna see in all three of these communities, the cost of living can be higher than certainly the national average. A lot of them will be higher than areas in the Denver metro. So the median home price as of the making of this video sat at $739,200, certainly well above the national average at $281,900. National averages, I think if we're gonna compare that to anything in Colorado, it's going to get ugly quick. Likely slightly more expensive than some of your Denver metro areas, but substantially less expensive than properties in Boulder. The median rent in Superior sat at $2,300, and the median household income in Superior sat at about 150 grand a year. Again, that's household. Moving on to our second community and one of my absolute favorites in Colorado, and that's Louisville, Colorado. And yes, here we call it Louisville. I know my Kentucky people are flipping out right now. Colorado can't get it all right. So Louisville was first founded in 1877. Similar to Superior, it was a mining town, but they had in the mid-50s a lot of labor strife and there was a lot of violence in Louisville with these mining communities. And so once the mining went away, it settled into this small town and started to grow. So today you have a population in Louisville of a little under 21,000. And Louisville is a very interesting community because it's small, but you have some economic factors at play in Louisville. It has one of the lowest unemployment rates you're going to see anywhere in the country, and certainly anywhere in Colorado. And it's also home to some pretty large companies. Among the companies it is home to is Oracle, Lockheed Martin, Ball Aerospace and Technologies, and Creekstone Outdoor Living. So you've got some pretty big companies operating in or around Louisville that impact that community. And similar to Superior, Louisville got extremely high ratings as far as where you want to live. So number 5 out of 71 suburbs, just period, in Colorado, and number 7 out of 71 suburbs in ratings, niche.com, as far as places to raise a family. Now, some common feedback that I get of Louisville, and you kind of hear this in the other two communities as well, but Louisville is the feeling of safety, the feeling of a close-knit community, and statistically, violence and crime rates are lower than the national average and lower than the Colorado average. And again, similar to Superior, Louisville is covered by the Boulder Valley School District. It is one of the biggest reasons that Louisville was really the first big footprint as people started looking to Boulder and then trying to find outskirt areas to live in. Louisville became a focal point for them, and that school district played a big role in that. And yes, Louisville has a great downtown area, great strip, a lot of locally owned, restaurants, bars, crafts. You really feel how close the community there is in Louisville. One of my absolute favorite places to go. They used to have the Blue Parrot, used to be my favorite, or one of my family's favorite Italian restaurants. It's no longer there, but plenty of things to do in Louisville and one of the better communities. And I will say this, I visited Louisville so many times, been around the community, getting a chance, I always say this, but every time I fly my drone in different communities, I always find something that I didn't know about before or I just hadn't noticed. And Louisville has not only just some great communities, not only is it just lush and very green, very pretty, but it has some of the most ridiculous houses that I've seen in Colorado, or certainly outside of Boulder or outside of Denver. Maybe Golden I would compare to. But I mean, I'll show you some drone footage here of some of these houses. Granted, I'm pretty certain that if anybody is watching this video and wants to buy these houses, you're not going to need a loan from me, but you could at least like invite me over for, I don't know, the polo club meeting, maybe some wine on a weekend morning. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Invite me over. The house is really cool. I'd like to see it. And I wanted to give you some information as much as I could as far as the affordability of Louisville. And you're going to see again that the affordability in these three areas is not exactly, we're not talking about the cheapest communities to live in. I want to be clear on that. So you're going to see energy costs, healthcare, housing, transportation. They are going to be higher, typically much higher than the national average. Food, surprisingly a little lower than the national average, but I don't know how much I would bank on that. Now, you know, we talk all the time when we're thinking about affordability, a lot is going to depend on where you came from. So if you're coming from a community like San Francisco, Washington, D.C., New York, Boston, well, Louisville's going to be cheaper for you. Odds are. You might not be as blown away. Now, if you are coming from a Miami, a Chicago, a Dallas, odds are it's going to be more expensive. Of all of those cities, what I was most surprised by is how, and this isn't just obviously a Louisville thing, this is a Denver and Boulder thing, our cost index in comparison to Miami. Miami at one time was far more expensive than Denver. I think the two, depending on your lifestyle and where you are exactly in the cities, getting a little closer. Now, of all three communities, I think Louisville feels like the most close-knit. They do a lot of community events. So they have a downtown street fair during the summer that lasts for 2 months. At the beginning of every month, they have First Friday, where there's art walks and music, a lot of different venues that are presenting people's arts, whether again it's music or paintings, what have you. So a lot of community events going on in Louisville. And when you go to these events, I always remember, just follow the yellow balloons. The yellow balloons will lead you along to these different exhibits. They've got a great farmers market, home to some great breweries, and certainly, as all three do, but they have some great golf courses as well. Now, affordability is going to be highest, or I should say, going to be stretch you the most in Louisville. So the median home price as of the making of this video in Louisville sat at $781,000. Median rent sat at $1,950, and the median household income sat at $135,000. Now, I can't keep you here all day, so we got to jump into our third, and that is Lafayette, Colorado. And you're going to see, as you head up 36, all of these communities, northwest, between Boulder, between Denver, 36 kind of wraps around. So I shouldn't say 36 wraps around, these communities wrap around. So you first hit Superior, you come up, you hit Louisville, you come back around, you hit Lafayette. All three of them right there, very close. Again, so you not only have access to Boulder and Denver, you have access to the other three. So Lafayette is the largest of the three, population of over 30,000. And again, rated number 11 out of 71 for best suburbs, rated 13th out of 71 for best families, for best places to raise a family, And Lafayette is quickly growing, even though it's already the biggest of the three. You're seeing a lot of growth in Lafayette. And not that the other two don't have this, but something that really catches me about Lafayette is how thought through its trail systems, its hikes, and its different community aspects, its parks, the things that you want to do to get outdoors. And you'll see this, and that I think that kind of bleeds down from Boulder, if you will, but these communities really take advantage of it. Lafayette has a lot to do outdoors, and you really want to just be out in that community. Again, as you might expect, it's Boulder Valley School Districts, you're solid there. As far as home prices, Lafayette is going to be the most affordable of these three. So the median home price as of the making of this video sat at $611,500. Median rent sat at a little over $1,900. And as far as median income for a household, sat at $105,000. Now again, we're not talking average, we're talking median. That number can be thrown off. So when we hear $150,000 in Louisville and $105,000 in Lafayette, these communities are right here. I mean, they neighbor each other. So I don't think, it's not like crossing the railroad tracks where you leave Louisville and you're like, ooh, we're in the bad end of town. We're in Lafayette now. So don't take those numbers, certainly as far as income, to pure heart. And why don't we have it for Superior? Well, admittedly, Superior is a smaller community. Those numbers weren't as available for us. So when I talk about perfect, the reason that I think that this is among the more perfect or excellent places in Colorado to live, again, not just that blend of being between Boulder and being between Denver, but the blend amongst these communities. Superior, Louisville, Lafayette, each has their own aspects that make them better or worse depending on your fit. Each one gives you the ability to spend time in the other. And I think you'll really feel this nice community aspect in all three. Very warm, very welcoming, very well kept, very pretty. So while it might not be perfect, I mean, it's pretty darn perfect. And who knows, maybe you're a fan of one, maybe you're a fan of all three, and that's a perfect opportunity for us to have a conversation. My number, my email, there on the screen. Know that I'm always the person answering your phone calls, answer your texts, answer your emails. There, winning if you need me. This is Destination Denver, Colorado. I'm your host, Jimmy Everett. That was the perfect place in Colorado to live, exploring Louisville, Lafayette, and Superior. Until I see you next time, peace.